The twin suns of Arcturus 7 were setting when Dr. Marcus Chen loaded the last supply crate into his transport vehicle. The frontier colony was quiet today, most people staying indoors to avoid the dust storms that rolled across the red plains. Marcus wiped sweat from his forehead and checked his list one more time. Medicine, bandages, food supplies. Everything his small clinic needed for another month. He was about to leave when he heard it. A low, rasping sound like breathing through broken glass. Marcus stopped. The warehouse district was supposed to be empty. Most of the buildings here were abandoned after the mining company pulled out last year. He listened again. There it was, definitely breathing, and it sounded wrong. His medical instincts kicked in. Marcus grabbed his emergency kit and walked toward the sound. Behind an old warehouse, he found something that made his blood run cold. Chained to a metal post was a creature unlike anything he had seen in person before. It looked like a massive leopard, but it stood nearly 7 feet tall even while slumped against the chains. Its fur was a mix of deep purple and silver spots, matted with dirt and blood. The creature's ribs showed through its skin and infected wounds covered its body. Marcus recognized the species from his xenobiology training. A Kothresh, the warrior race that most humans feared. The creature's eyes opened slowly. They were golden, filled with pain and something else. Resignation. "Leave, human," the creature rasped in broken standard. The translator device on the chain flickered weakly. "Nothing here for you." Marcus knelt down, keeping his movements slow. "I'm a doctor. Let me help you." The Kothresh laughed bitterly, which turned into a wet cough. "Doctor. My owner said I was useless now. Too old. Too slow. So he left me here to die. This is the Kothresh way." "Well, it's not the human way," Marcus said firmly. He examined the chains. They were locked tight, cutting into the creature's wrists. "What's your name?" "Vethrak." The alien's voice was fading. "Why do you care, human? Your kind fears us. You should walk away." Marcus was already pulling tools from his kit. "I'm a medic. I don't leave patients to die, no matter what species they are." He worked on the lock with a plasma cutter. "These chains are illegal anyway. Enslaving sentient beings is against galactic law." "Many things are against the law out here on the frontier," Vethrak said softly. "No one cares." The chains fell away with a metallic clang. Vethrak collapsed forward and Marcus barely caught him. The alien was incredibly heavy, his muscle mass still significant despite the starvation. Marcus triggered his comm device. "This is Dr. Chen. I need emergency transport to my clinic. I have a critical patient." His assistant's voice came through shocked. "Doctor, the scanner shows you're with a Kothresh. Those things are dangerous. Colony security won't allow." "Then don't tell colony security," Marcus interrupted. "This is a medical emergency. Get the transport here now." He turned back to Vethrak, who was staring at him with confusion in those golden eyes. Marcus began treating the worst wounds with antiseptic and temporary bandages. "Why?" Vethrak whispered. "We are enemies. My people have killed humans." Marcus met his gaze steadily. "You're not your people. You're a patient who needs help. That's all that matters to me." The transport arrived 10 minutes later. As they loaded Vethrak inside, Marcus could see colonists gathering in the distance, watching. He knew there would be trouble tomorrow. People would complain. They would say he was putting everyone in danger by bringing a Kothresh warrior into the colony. But as Marcus looked at the dying creature on the stretcher, he felt certain of one thing. He had taken an oath to preserve life. And he meant to keep it no matter what anyone else thought. The transport lifted off into the darkening sky, carrying them both toward an uncertain future. 2 weeks passed since Marcus brought Vethrak to his clinic. The surgery had taken 6 hours. Marcus worked through the night, removing infected tissue, setting broken bones that had healed wrong years ago, and fighting to save the old warrior's life. When Vethrak finally woke up 3 days later, his first words were, "You should have let me die." Marcus handed him a cup of water. "Not my style." Now Vethrak was sitting up in the recovery room, still weak but alive. His wounds were healing slowly. Marcus changed the bandages every morning while they talked. It became their routine. "In Kothresh culture, the strong survive," Vethrak explained one morning. His voice was stronger now. "When we become old or injured, we are expected to walk into the wilderness alone. It is considered honorable. To be kept alive when you cannot fight anymore is shameful." Marcus shook his head while applying fresh bandages. "That seems wasteful. Old people have experience, knowledge, wisdom. Why throw that away?" Vethrak was quiet for a moment. "I never thought of it that way. I was a warrior. then a fighter in illegal arenas, then an enforcer for the crime boss. When my body started failing, I had no value left. Everyone has value, Marcus said firmly. Humans used to abandon their elderly too, thousands of years ago. But we learned better. We realized that taking care of each other, regardless of age or strength, makes us stronger as a species. The Kothresh looked at Marcus with something like wonder in his golden eyes. Your species is strange. Maybe, Marcus smiled. But we're still here. Not everyone in the colony shared Marcus's view. Every day, angry colonists gathered outside the clinic. They carried signs and shouted complaints. Get that monster out of here, they yelled. Kothresh are killers. One afternoon, the colony administrator came to visit. He was a thin man named Roberts who always looked nervous. Dr. Chen, people are scared. That creature has killed before. It's dangerous. His name is Vethrak, Marcus corrected. And he's a patient under medical sanctuary law. He stays until he's recovered. But what if he attacks someone? Marcus gestured to Vethrak, who was slowly eating soup in the corner. Does he look like he's attacking anyone? He can barely walk to the bathroom by himself. Roberts left unhappy, but there was nothing he could do. Medical sanctuary law was clear. In the evenings, Marcus and Vethrak shared meals. Marcus was fascinated by the warriors' stories. Vethrak told him about the Kothresh homeworld, about honor codes and battle traditions, about a life spent fighting. Did you ever have a family? Marcus asked one night. Vethrak's ears flattened against his head. I was taken young. Sold to the arenas. Family is for warriors who earn honor in proper battles, not for slaves who fight for entertainment. That's terrible, Marcus said quietly. No one should be alone. I am used to it. Well, you're not alone now. Vethrak looked at the human doctor, this small creature who had risked everything to save him. Why did you really save me, Marcus? The truth. Marcus thought for a moment. Because when I became a doctor, I promised to help people who are suffering. You were suffering. It's that simple. Nothing is that simple. Maybe it should be, Marcus said. Maybe we complicate things too much. You needed help. I could give it. Everything else is just noise. Vethrak made a sound deep in his chest, something between a growl and a purr. Marcus learned it meant the Kothresh was feeling emotional. Humans are very strange, Vethrak said again. But perhaps, that is not a bad thing. That night, as Marcus was closing the clinic, he saw 3 dark shapes moving in the shadows outside. They were watching the building. Watching and waiting. He recognized the species. Draxian mercenaries. The kind that crime lords hired when they wanted to send a message. Marcus felt his stomach drop. He locked the doors and quietly checked that the emergency protocols were ready. Tomorrow was going to be difficult. They came at dawn. 3 Draxian mercenaries kicked down the clinic door before Marcus had finished his morning coffee. They were massive reptilian creatures, each one carrying heavy weapons. Their scales gleamed dark green in the early light. The leader pointed a clawed finger at Marcus. The Kothresh. Give him to us now. Marcus stood up slowly, placing himself between the mercenaries and the recovery room where Vethrak was resting. This is a medical facility. You're violating sanctuary laws. The Draxian laughed, showing rows of sharp teeth. Sanctuary laws don't apply out here, human. Our boss wants his property back. The old cat thought he could just leave. Nobody leaves the Crimson Syndicate alive. He's not property. He's a patient. Marcus kept his voice steady despite his racing heart. And he's not going anywhere. Then we take him by force. The mercenary raised his weapon. I wouldn't do that, Marcus said quickly. I've already triggered the distress beacon. Galactic peacekeepers are monitoring this situation. It was a bluff. The nearest peacekeeper station was weeks away. But the mercenaries hesitated. From the recovery room they heard movement. Vethrak appeared in the doorway, leaning heavily against the frame. His wounds were still healing, but his eyes were clear and angry. You work for Craxton, he growled. Tell him I would rather die than return. That can be arranged, the Draxian leader said. What happened next was pure chaos. The mercenaries opened fire, but Marcus had prepared the clinic. He hit a button on his wrist device, and emergency medical foam sprayed from the ceiling, filling the room and blocking the shots. The Draxians cursed and stumbled. Vethrak with me? Marcus shouted. They ran to the surgical room and sealed the reinforced door. Marcus had spent the last night preparing defenses, using everything his medical training taught him about chemistry and biology. The Draxians pounded on the door. You can't hide forever, human? Marcus was already working. He grabbed canisters of anesthetic gas and connected them to the ventilation system. Vethrak watched in amazement. "You're going to gas them?" "I'm a doctor, not a soldier," Marcus said, his hands moving quickly. "But I know how to put people to sleep." He reversed the airflow, pumping the gas into the main clinic area. The pounding got weaker then stopped. Through the door camera they saw 2 mercenaries collapse. But the leader had put on a breathing mask. He was smarter than the others. "Your turn," Marcus said to Vethrak. "Can you fight?" Vethrak's body was still weak, but his warrior instincts were sharp. "Tell me the plan." Marcus opened a different door, one that led to the supply corridor. They moved through the darkness while the Draxian leader searched for them. Marcus grabbed a laser scalpel, the kind used for precise surgery. In his hands it became a weapon. The Draxian found them in the corridor. He roared and charged. Vethrak met him head-on despite his injuries. They crashed together, claws and teeth flashing. The mercenary was stronger, but Vethrak was experienced. He knew where to strike, how to move. Marcus waited for his moment. When the Draxian's back was turned, he lunged forward with the laser scalpel, cutting the mercenary's weapon harness. The gun clattered to the floor. Vethrak used the distraction to slam the Draxian against the wall. The mercenary slumped down, unconscious. They stood there breathing hard, surrounded by 3 sleeping mercenaries. Marcus's hands were shaking. Vethrak was bleeding from reopened wounds. "You fought for me," Vethrak said quietly. "No one has ever fought for me before." "Get used to it," Marcus replied, already pulling out medical supplies to treat the new injuries. Outside, a crowd had gathered. Someone had been recording the whole thing. The video was already uploading to the Galactic Network, spreading across star systems. A human doctor defending an abandoned alien warrior against a crime syndicate. The galaxy was watching now. And everything was about to change. The video went viral across 20 star systems in less than 2 days. Marcus woke up to find his clinic surrounded by news drones and reporters from a dozen different planets. His communication device wouldn't stop beeping with messages. The Galactic Medical Council wanted to speak with him. Human colonies were calling him a hero. The Kothresh homeworld government was demanding answers about why one of their people was abandoned to die. But the worst message came on the 3rd morning. It was a holo transmission showing a massive alien with red scales and cold black eyes. Craxton, the crime lord himself. "Dr. Chin," the crime lord's voice was like gravel grinding. "You have something that belongs to me. I'm coming to collect it personally. Resist again and I will burn your entire colony to ash." Marcus deleted the message and looked at Vethrak, who was sitting quietly in the corner. The old warrior had been silent since the video spread across the galaxy. "You should let me go," Vethrak said. "I will walk out and face him. This is my burden, not yours." "Absolutely not," Marcus said firmly. "He will kill you. He will kill everyone here. Then he'll have to go through me first." That afternoon, Craxton arrived with 20 armed soldiers. They surrounded the clinic, weapons drawn. The crime lord himself walked up to the main entrance, his massive form blocking out the sunlight. Colony Administrator Roberts ran up, sweating. "Please, Dr. Chen, just give him what he wants. We can't fight this." Marcus activated his communication device, broadcasting live to every network that was watching. Millions of beings across the galaxy were tuning in now. He stepped outside to face Craxton. "I'm Dr. Marcus Chin," he said clearly. "I took an oath when I became a doctor. Do no harm. Preserve life. Treat every patient with dignity." He looked directly at the crime lord. "That oath doesn't change based on species, age, or past. If humanity stands for anything, it's that every life has value." Craxton snarled. "Pretty words, human. But words won't stop my weapons. Give me the Kothresh or everyone dies." Behind Marcus the clinic door opened. Vethrak stepped out, walking slowly but with his head held high. "I will go with you, Craxton. Let the human live." "No," Marcus said, moving to block Vethrak's path. "You walk through me first." For a moment, everything was silent. The galaxy watched. Craxton raised his weapon. Then the sky filled with light. 5 galactic peacekeeper ships descended, their weapons locked on Craxton's forces. A voice boomed through speakers. "This is Peacekeeper Commander Talrix. Craxton, you are under arrest for violating medical sanctuary laws, trafficking sentient beings, and attempted murder." Craxton looked around wildly. "You have no jurisdiction here." "The Galactic Medical Council has granted emergency authority," the commander replied. "The entire galaxy is watching. Drop your weapons now." Marcus felt his legs nearly give out from relief. The Galactic Medical Council had sent their recording of his distress beacon from days ago. They had been investigating the whole time. Crackstun soldiers dropped their weapons. They knew they couldn't fight peacekeepers. The crime lord himself was placed in restraints, cursing and threatening as they took him away. Commander Taurix landed and approached Marcus and Vethrak. She was a tall insectoid being with kind eyes. Dr. Chin, your actions have started important conversations across many worlds. Vethrak, you are legally freed from all contracts with the Crimson Syndicate. Vethrak stood there stunned. Free. After decades of slavery, he was actually free. Marcus put a hand on the Kothresh's shoulder. What will you do now? Vethrak looked at the small human who had risked everything for him. At the clinic behind them. At the crowd of beings from different species all watching with hope in their eyes. I have an idea, Vethrak said slowly. But I will need a partner. Marcus smiled. I'm listening. 6 months later, Marcus stood outside the expanded clinic and smiled at the new sign being installed. It read Second Chance Sanctuary, in 12 different languages. The small medical facility had grown into something much bigger. Vethrak walked up beside him, moving easier now. His wounds had healed as much as they ever would. He would always have a limp, and his right arm was weaker than before, but he was alive and healthy. The sign looks good, he said. It does, Marcus agreed. Ready for another busy day? The sanctuary was no longer just for humans. Word had spread across the galaxy about the place where no one was turned away. Where the old, the injured, and the abandoned could find help. Every week, new patients arrived from different star systems. Inside the waiting room was full. An elderly Quillnath sat quietly, her forearms trembling with age. Her family had left her on a transport station, saying she was too expensive to care for. A young Draxian missing his tail waited nervously. He had been cast out from his clan for his injury. 3 small Pixan children huddled together. They were orphans with nowhere else to go. Marcus and Vethrak had assembled a team. Dr. Sira, a Quillnath surgeon, specialized in elder care. Nurse Kix, a reformed Draxian mercenary, handled security and transport. A dozen other staff members from 6 different species all worked together. Vethrak had found his new purpose. He taught combat medicine, training young medics to work in dangerous environments. His warrior skills were finally being used to save lives instead of take them. Young Kothresh warriors came from the homeworld to study with him, learning that strength could mean more than just fighting. The Kothresh government had been embarrassed by the viral video. They saw their warrior abandoned to die while a human fought to save him. It sparked debates across their homeworld. Now they were slowly changing their laws about elder care. It would take time, but change was happening. Marcus treated the elderly Quillnath first, checking her vital signs and prescribing medicine for her pain. You're safe here, he told her gently. We'll take care of you. She clicked her mandibles softly, the Quillnath way of showing gratitude. Thank you, doctor. I thought I would die alone. Not here, Marcus said. No one dies alone here. By afternoon, a group of reporters arrived for an interview. Marcus usually avoided them, but this was for the Galactic Medical Journal. They wanted to write about the sanctuary's success. Dr. Chin, the reporter asked, you've been offered awards, honors, even a position on the Galactic Medical Council. Why do you stay here? Marcus looked around at the busy clinic, at Vethrak helping a patient walk, at the diverse staff working together. Because this is where I'm needed. Awards are nice, but this work matters. And you, Vethrak, the reporter turned to the Kothresh. Your people called you useless. What do you say to them now? Vethrak was quiet for a moment. I say they were wrong about what makes someone useful. I spent my life fighting in wars and arenas. I hurt people. Now I help save them. This second chance at life means more than all my years as a warrior. That evening, as the sun set, Marcus and Vethrak sat outside watching the traffic in the sky. Ships came and went, bringing more patients, more staff, more hope. Do you ever regret it? Vethrak asked. Saving me that day? Your life became complicated. Marcus shook his head. Best decision I ever made. Look at what we built. A transport landed nearby. The door opened and a small alien child stumbled out, injured and scared. Another abandoned soul needing help. Vethrak and Marcus stood up together. Another one who needs someone to fight for them, Vethrak said. Marcus grabbed his medical kit and smiled. Then let's get to work. They walked toward the child together, human and Kothresh, doctor and warrior, proving that compassion knew no species. Above them, the sanctuary sign glowed in the fading light, a beacon of hope for the forgotten and the lost. Every life had value. And here, everyone got a second chance.